Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. So in this week's vlog, just to recap last week, you guys saw that we did some demo in our guest room. We took off the existing board and batten treatment that we did. That was one of our, actually was our first DIY in a bedroom. So it looked like a first DIY, so it was time for a change. But in this week's vlog, you'll see the board and batten go in. That is now going to be the new staple of that room. Again, the style in that room I'm going for is like a vintage farmhouse, vintage, modern, organic, something in that realm. But it's going to be really, really nice and I love it. You also see the color, which again is Mountain Olive by Bayer. I absolutely love it. At first I was a little nervous about the green because it's such a strong and bold color, but I absolutely love it. I feel like it just fits that room so well. It brings in a little bit of coziness. Also, it feels romantic. It just feels like lived in, and I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and get into this week's vlog. So picking up from last week, you guys saw that we did a little bit of demo on that back wall to remove the existing accent wall. It was just a simple design of vertical board and battens. We did use it with real wood. There's nothing wrong with using real wood because the new project is real wood as well, but it's primed wood rather than just a solid raw wood. But there was quite a bit of damage that we had to go ahead and replace. So once all the board and batten was removed from the wall, we can really step back and assess the damage of the wall. Now, I would have to say that I'm not going to discourage you from taking down any existing wall treatments. I would say it's a long and tedious process. So here we are just using a scraper just to remove any excess caulk. Also smoothing out any of the drywall that actually came apart from when we took the battens off the wall. And just making sure that we have everything as clean and flush as possible before we can go ahead and make the necessary repairs for the wall. Like I said, I'm not going to discourage you from doing this. It's just a long and tedious process. Perfection is key in this process, so therefore when you're putting the new battens or any wall treatments up, you're not seeing the existing wall prior. We had a lot of what was that, liquid nails that we used before. I won't be using that again. So we used this Ben shellac primer. I have used this on some IKEA furniture. It's really good to seal any rough edges, and then it really helps with the drywall repair. So we put that on first, and then we went ahead and put on some joint compound just to make sure that it seals up any rough edges that you see there. The Ben shellac primer really helps with that, so therefore you're not getting any type of drywall tears or anything since we're not replacing the drywall. So I will have to admit that I kind of left Matt on this process because he is a perfectionist and I'm kind of the one that just wants to hurry up and get to the part that involves me, which is the painting, the caulking, things of that nature. So I kind of let him take his time in repairing the wall. Plus he's a lot taller than me and it's too much. I have to get a ladder and move it from each area. He can kind of hit a lot of areas without having to do all that. So once he got the Ben shellac primer there, it was time he wanted to fix some nail pops, so you'll see him there just twisting the screws behind the wall. That's what causes the nail pop, but that's what it looks like. And then he just removed some of the drywall off of there and then fixed it. He'll also go back and put some joint compound on top of it to go ahead and cover up that nail pop, but that's how you fix them. So you'll want to make sure that you allow the Ben shellac primer to dry. I believe on the can it says about 2 hours and you're ready, but I think we waited 24 hours. So after that was dry, it was time for mudding, which is joint compound. So we had some for when we did our basement. So we just went ahead and got that mixed up. And then Matt took his time to go ahead and repair the tape that was missing from the drywall within this area here. You want to make sure that you allow the first coat to dry, and then in between coats you're going to want to make sure that you sand. Sanding is key, making sure that the wall is smooth. Since we don't really have texture on our walls, we didn't have to worry about retexturing the wall. But this is the second coat going on now that Matt's working on. So we allowed the second coat to dry overnight, and we looked at the wall and said, great, we're done. We didn't need any additional coats. Yay! So here we are now. Well, here I am cleaning up. I like to have a clean surface. I did use this Kills Prime interior primer. It's a heavy duty, so it allows you to be able to go ahead and put this on pretty thick and then paint with the existing or the new paint that you're gonna paint over the wall. So that's what I did, and it sealed everything up really, really nice. Hard work really does pay off. Doesn't that wall look like perfection? It doesn't even look like there was any damage to the wall. Absolutely love it. Matt and I did a really good job. More so Matt, but hey, I'll take some credit. So here we are at Lowe's getting the new baseboards, and then also some trim for the walls as well. Getting the 1x6 and also the 1x4. Anytime that you're cutting any kind of trim, you'll want to make sure that you measure twice. Wait, what is it? Check once, measure twice, cut once? No, cut once, measure twice, something like that. Anyways, so there was a lot of 45-degree angles in this project. If you don't feel comfortable with 45-degree angles, hey, you could always call This Georgia Clay and we can get it done for you. So here we are using our laser. Last week I did state that I wanted the wall to be about 6 feet for the board and batten from top to bottom. So therefore it feels like you're immersed in the craftsmanship there since we spent so time working on it. If you hear any type of screwing in or whatever, nailing, that is Matt working down in the basement now. But it's great to have a laser because it keeps everything nice and even for you. So that thing that looks like a pencil that Matt's dragging back and forth against the wall is called a stud buddy. It helps you to find studs in the wall, so therefore he knows where to nail, so that way we can make sure that the board and battens are nice and secured. Now this right here is like a, it's like a glue that you can use to make some instant instant miters, so therefore you don't have to wait for wood glue to work, but it's kind of like Gorilla Glue, but made by DAP. So I'm trying to explain that. I thought he was explaining it on this portion, but I guess not. So here I am just trying to fill in the holes. I use this stuff called patch and paint. It allows it to dry within 20 minutes and you're ready to paint. But you could use wood filler if that's what you have on hand to fill any holes. Like I mentioned in last week's vlog, if you guys didn't see part 1 of the guest room makeover, make sure you check down in the description. But Matt was making some 45 degrees in these 1x6s. It was our time to go ahead and make a change and change out the 1x3 baseboards that we have, the old school type baseboards, and just make it a little bit more modern, because we do have these type of baseboards within our gym space and also our home offices. In the rec space of the gym is going to be changed up a little bit as well, so those will continue throughout the space. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to show you the true nature of this Georgia Clay. What you see on Instagram, on YouTube, it's always semi-perfect, because nothing is always perfect. But when you come down to my basement, this is the reality that I'm currently living in as of now. Yes, that's a tree right there from Christmas. Do not judge me. There's another one over there as well. I still haven't put everything up. I know it is February. Oh, excuse me. It's March now. It'll get done at some point. But helping Matt bringing up some of these boards so he can go ahead and cut them so we can start on the basement here. Again, stuff everywhere. Anyhow, so coming into the basement, I am not sure if this bed will survive in the reveal. So that's something that you guys will have to tune in and see each week as we progress in the basement. Guest room makeover of Suite 903. However, these lines here represent what I wanted in terms of how many boards per wall and spacing. So this is just a rough estimate, but Matt went ahead and did the math because, as you guys know, his math is always mathin', and I leave that up to my sweet husband to do. So the reason why there's not a board here is because on this back wall will be an accent wall. There'll be a fireplace. I also haven't taken off all of the baseboards because we need to get this out of here. There'll be a fireplace on this wall. I also want some vertical shiplap, so it'll be the fireplace here around this area. Vertical shiplap here, vertical shiplap here as well. And then a nice treatment there. So I truly want this to be an accent wall and separate in the walls. However, we can't put the board there because their piece of shiplap needs to sit where the hitter board is. So that's that. These curtains will change. I will not be keeping them here. I am reaching out to potential sponsorships for that so I can share that product with you guys. So that is more to come on that. But I think the rod will stay there. It might go up a little bit higher. We'll see. Because I did tell Matt that I wanted them all the way to the ceiling, but for some reason they didn't get up there. Anyhow, so this is where we're at. He has installed, I didn't even know. He installed the baseboard that goes all the way around here. Of course, caulking and all that has not been done yet. There will be a ledger board that goes on here as well. And then this top part will be painted a different color. Right now, my entire house is extra white by Sherwin-Williams. And that is going to change because I just want to add some color in here. And this is one space that I want to try out color. And then possibly other places in my home will have color as well. So let's go ahead and get back to it. Let me bring those boards up to Matt. I think I hear him now, and I have not put the boards up to him.
All right, y'all. There's a ton of videos on how to space battens, so I won't bore you with that. But I basically just drew it out here to figure out what was going to work best for us in our space. So my number one rule is do not hit any outlets. Rule number 2 is do not hit any outlets. So I figured out a spacing that worked best for the whole room. If you can't believe it, I did not hit one outlet, so it worked out perfect. But basically, once you figure out the spacing that works best for you and gives you the look you like, my number one tip is to write everything down, like measure each space, write it all down, and then write the numbers on the back of the pieces that you cut. That way you don't have to keep going back and forth. You can cut everything all at once and take it back to the room, and you know exactly where it goes. So it helps a lot. So I'll let you guys vibe out a little bit and just watch me work, and then we'll get back to it. Given we take the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason. And just in case somebody asks, the little paint tool you see me using behind the board is basically because walls can be a little uneven, boards can be a little warped, and that just kind of helps if it's not flush with the top board. You can stick that behind there before you nail, and it just gives you a much flusher look because the nail will hold it in place.
guys might notice too, I'm using this a lot throughout the project. It's basically a construction adhesive. You could use like a wood glue, you can use like a Gorilla Glue, anything, any kind of construction adhesive is fine, but usually you want to use that on your joints, because generally people don't buy 16-foot boards. I know I can't fit that in my car, so I was forced to kind of cut at a 45 and overlap a little bit. It still gives you a pretty flush look, but wood does contract and expand, so that typically helps the joints from expanding too much and cracking. You just want to use it on all your joints, but you should be good.
So here comes the fun part. So I wanted to make this back portion of the wall, which is going to be, I would guess you would say it would be an accent wall as well, but it's where the headboard is going to be. So I wanted to have a little bit more pizzazz than the rest of the walls. So I wanted to do a ledger here, but in a 1x6, so therefore I can use it as a shelf to be able to decorate. So that's the reason for that being a little bit bigger than the 1x4. And keeping up with the extra pizzazz, we went ahead and added this decorative trim as well. Also, it helps with some more strength against that shelving, so therefore when I'm putting things on it, we don't have to worry about anything falling off. But I just like how it gave just a little bit of a vintage flair back there, just to give it that. And basically it's just molding, decorative molding there, but it just gives it a different look than the rest of the walls, just to make sure that it stands out just a little bit, but not too much. So once everything was caulked, it was time for paint. And this is a part that I love and hate, but for the most part, sometimes I love it. It just depends. This was the first room that I was painting basically in its entirety, so it took forever. I was extremely exhausted, but I tried to do as much as I could day per day. All right, so I stopped painting for a little bit. I know I didn't have the camera up, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the color. I need to roll over that part right there, but it is true to the name of Mountain Olive. I would have to say it's an olive color. It's really green, but it's like a rich green. It's not too light, not too dark. I think it's just a beautiful contrast. Of course, that's going to have the ledge there, so I'll have to do that once Matt installs it, but I absolutely love it. I was a little anxious and I wanted to see how the paint would look on the ledge, so I'm going to start working on this side. But my dilemma now is if I'm going to paint the door frames green. The ideal here was to paint up here a different color than the extra white, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. I think I might just keep it the extra white to kind of chill the green down a little bit, because this whole wall is going to be green, and I just don't know if I'm going to do what I was going to do before, which this was going to be like a more creamier color at the top, and then I was going to paint around the door frames green and rock it with that. So I think I might still do the door frames green, keep the doors white, keep up here the extra white so it kind of still blends in, because again the ceiling is going to be extra white as well still, and go from there. But we shall see how this changes, but I absolutely, again, love the color. It's not fully dry, that's why you see the roller marks, but I love it. So let's get back into it. I think I ended up stopping for the day, but here is another day that I was painting. I really didn't have like a pattern or a rhythm of painting. I just figured the more paint I can get on the wall, the more it looks like it's done. But I don't know, that's just how my mind works. I'm like, I just want to see more paint on the back wall. So you can see me, I'm just jumping from place to place with painting, but I absolutely love how it's going on. Hey guys, welcome to Suite 903. As you guys can see, mind the mess a little bit. We're still working on getting everything cleaned up because it is still an active workplace. But look how beautiful it looks. The mountain olive exceeded my expectations. I really, really love it. It really feels like a totally different space within our home. Like it doesn't feel like it belongs, but it kind of does. I'm in love with it. I'm obsessed. My friend Kay, if you guys see her on Kay Whitaker, she loves green. And so I was telling her, I was like, girl, I'm putting green in my house. And she was like, no, you're not. And here it is with the green, and she absolutely loves it, and I love it too. So I can't wait to get started with decorating it and all kind of decor and whatnot. But I'm still getting some pieces again, mixing modern vintage with new. So I'm trying to do that and trying to execute it very well, because a room like this, and especially having like a shelving, you definitely can make it look cluttered, and I definitely don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to make sure I find the right pieces and make sure that it looks intentional and that it was meant to be here. But I absolutely love it. I have curtains coming. I'm still debating if I'm going to put something in front of the bed. I still have to make some little cleanups here on the bed or whatnot. I'm just showing you guys real life. It has been used, slept in a couple of times, but that did happen for my son. He used to have like this gaming chair and he would like rub up against it, but whatever. So I'll fix that. But other than that, I love it. I painted it all by hand. I did have some help on this last wall here. My daughter and Matt helped me out, so I appreciate them. But there's still some touch-ups that need to be made. I actually see a spot right there that I need to get. But on the other side of me, the fireplace has gone in, and I absolutely love it. It looks so beautiful, and I can't wait to share that with you guys in next week's vlog. But I love it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm obsessed. The green is here to stay. I think it's done very well. I'm also going to keep the white above, because I just feel like now that there's so much green on the wall that the white helps to calm down the space, and I absolutely love it. And it's so beautiful. I just love it. It really looks like, I don't know, it's really gonna be like my gardening room. So I usually like to watch gardening videos and stuff in my office, but now when I don't have guests, I'll be in here chilling, especially having the fireplace. It's just, I guess it's my, what is it, a she shed within my home. So anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.